Hey everyone, Paul here from freeyournow.com, and this is Driving with Paul, episode number 24. In this episode, I want to talk about the perfect client profile. Do you know what your perfect client profile is for your blog or for your online business? Have you spent any time thinking about that? Have you, put pen to paper and actually written out who it is that you're trying to attract into your blog or for your online business as a customer, as a blog reader, as a subscriber, etc. Now, I find that in my with my Empower Network team, I've just recently started putting together an entire training course, like a mentoring course, where I've shot a number of videos and I'm going through that whole process with my team. And one of the exercises that we've been doing recently has been putting together, I teach my team how to put together a client profile for their perfect client profile for their blogs. And one of the things that I learned by going through this process myself a number of years ago, and with my wife and her business and a number of other clients that I've coached, and now as I'm going through that whole process with my Empower Network team, one of the things I've realized is that until we take the time to go through this entire process of getting clear on who our perfect client profile is, most people are just completely ambiguous with that. We don't know who it is that we're trying to attract into our business. And therefore, when we're sending out that message to the universe, it's a message of ambiguity, and the universe doesn't know who to attract and who to send our way, okay? So it's something that a lot of people avoid doing because they kind of go, well, I'm just, my target audience is everybody, or my target market is everybody. But that's not really true, okay? You don't want to be working with everybody. You want to have a very specific, you want to have a very targeted idea of who it is that you're going after for your blog. Who would be the best person that you could help with your blog? Who would be the best person that you can help with your business? Who would get the most value out of the training that you're doing on your blog? Who would get the most value out of the content that you're producing for your blog? Who would get the most value being a customer of yours or being a part of your team, right? The more you think about this and the more clarity you get on this, you'll start to realize and you'll start to see that ideas will start popping into your head, right? Like you'll ask some questions like, who's your perfect client? Who are you targeting? And certain things will just pop into your head, like you'll just start thinking, right? Usually the first thing that people say is like everybody, okay? So you write that down, everybody. Then you go ask yourself the question again, who's my perfect client, right? Who's my perfect target market? Is that person male or female, right? Whatever pops into your head, write that down, right? And go, as you start asking yourself these questions, and in my training course, I go through a list of about 40 to 50 questions that I ask my teammates to go through and identify as a perfect target clients. And as they go through that process, it starts to shine a light on who they are subconsciously attracting into their business. So as I've been going through that with my team, what I started to notice, and what I've shown them, is that we all actually have a perfect client profile that's subconsciously kind of swimming around in our minds, and that we're sending that message out to the universe saying, here, attract these types of people into our business, right? Now, we may not be consciously aware of what that profile is, but we do have one. Everybody does. We all have this profile that we've created in our subconscious mind of who we think would be the perfect client for our business. And oftentimes, because we haven't taken the time to consciously think about it, that profile it's completely mismatched with who we want to attract, okay? So why does this happen? Well, let's say that you used to work at a job, okay? So let's say that you worked at let's say that while you're going through high school or something, you got a job working at McDonald's, okay? Well, McDonald's has a perfect client profile that they've identified for themselves of who they're targeting, okay? And when you get a job working there, you become part of that morphic field, and in all of McDonald's training and marketing, you're basically trained that this is the kind of customers that you want to attract. Now, a lot of this becomes unconscious, that you're not even aware of it, right? So let's say that then you get a job working at some other place, right? Let's say now you get working at a pizza place, or you get an admin job working at some corporate office or something like that. Every one of the jobs that you have, right, you're subconsciously absorbing that business's perfect client profile into your morphic field, into your energy field, okay? And if you don't consciously make a decision to create your own perfect client profile, your perfect client profile of what you believe is the best customer for you to attract is usually going to be kind of a mixture, or like a mishmash of the perfect client profiles of the businesses that you've worked for before as an employee, or even if you've ran your own business, okay? So the types of people that you're going to end up targeting are going to be kind of a mishmash of who you've been targeting for the different companies that you worked for as an employee. And that might not completely match. It may not match at all the people that you're trying to attract with your online business, okay? That's why this exercise is so important. It's so important to go through this process to consciously decide who you're targeting. Otherwise, it's not going to be easy for you to build your business and to get clients and to convert prospects into clients, because they're not going to match what it is that you're selling, okay? So this is some of the stuff that we've gone through with my team, and I've shown some of them how the perfect client profile, once we brought it to the surface and I asked them some of these questions and they answered some of these questions, we're able to see, and I was able to show them, like, okay, so basically what you're saying is the perfect client profile for you and the person that you're targeting and the person that you're asking the universe to attract into your business behaves in this specific way, and the person that you're attracting has these types of habits, and the person that you're attracting is coming to you for these solutions. Is that right? And when we look at those answers and we start diving into it and go, hold on a second, would this really be the perfect client for your business? And people start to realize, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. That's not who I want. That's not the client that I want. I don't want people like this. I want different people. I want this doesn't even make sense. Why am I going after this? Until you actually start to think about it, until you consciously start to think about it, most people, because of the ambiguity, they're attracting the wrong types of prospects into their business. And when you attract the wrong type of prospect, you're not going to get conversions, okay? So I'll give you guys an example. And I've talked about this in previous videos, so it's a good example because I've mentioned it a few times, but I started working with a personal trainer recently, okay? And if you look at me as a client for them, as a potential client, okay, I've spent probably close to, if I added it all up, maybe, I don't know, $6,000 to $10,000, or I have probably $6,000 to $10,000 worth of exercise equipment in my, that I've bought over the years, in the last 20 years or so. I've joined a number of gyms in the past, like joined and then never ended up going on a consistent basis. I've bought all kinds of different courses, training videos on how to get in shape. I've tried probably 7 or 8 or 10 different diets. So I'm the type of person that has gone through and has invested a lot of time, has spent a lot of research. I've even taken nutrition courses. I spent about $2,000 or $3,000 taking advanced nutrition courses. So I've spent thousands of dollars on equipment, training, information. I've gone to natural doctors, naturopaths, that kind of stuff. I've tried various different exercise programs. So I've invested time, I've invested resources, I've invested money into getting my body into shape, right? So if there's a personal trainer company out there, right, and I come to them as a potential prospect, how hard do you think it's going to be for them to get me as a client, right, when I'm in that position where I've tried everything and nothing's worked, and I've spent tons of money and I've spent tons of time and resources trying to get in shape? How hard is that going to be for them to convert me into a client compared to, let's take a different profile. Let's say there was another person out there who has never tried any diets yet, who has never joined a gym, has never done a workout in their life, doesn't really have an interest in fitness or nutrition or health. They are overweight, right? But they don't really care about it, and they don't really care about getting fit. And maybe their perspective on health and fitness is like, whatever, you only live once, so I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna eat whatever I want, and if I die early, then that's fine. I don't really give a crap, right? So let's say that that's one person, and then compare them to me. Which person do you think will be easier for a personal trainer to convert to a client? Obviously, somebody like me is going to be easier to convert to a client and get somebody like me to spend money on having a personal trainer working with me, right? So that's an example of, a perfect client profile for a specific type of business. One perfect client profile works, the other one doesn't, okay? And it's the same thing with your online business. If you're a blogger or if you're running an online business, you should really be aware of who it is that you're targeting. And it should be very specific. You should know exactly who they are, what they're who they are. You should know everything about them. You should know what their fears are, what they worry about before they go to sleep at night, what their biggest challenges are, what type of stuff they've tried in the past, who they've worked with in the past, what kind of solutions have they implemented, how much money they've spent on different solutions, how much time have they invested, what are some of the benefits that they're going to get from working with you. If the program that you're selling or whatever product that you're selling or whatever service you're selling, if that product or service works for them, what benefits are they going to get from it? These are just some of the questions, right? Now, there's courses out there you can take on identifying your perfect client profile. For my teammates that work with me with Empower Network, I actually have a mentoring course that I'm putting together, and I'm giving it to my team free of charge. And one of the things that we cover in lesson 4 is defining your perfect client profile, okay? So I would highly recommend that if you haven't done that yet for your online business, go through that process and just get really, really clear on who it is that you're targeting, right? If you're a blogger, who's your perfect reader, right? If you have an online business, where you're selling a service or a product, who would benefit the most from the products or services that you sell, all right? Get clear on that and see how it helps your business. That's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.